Hello, good afternoon and welcome to TV Sapienza News Hour. I am Oluchi Ojobamidele. Mgbakwu people in Awka North Council area of Anambra State have sent a civil soul message to the government at all levels to save them from flooding affecting their community. They said that the flooding normally comes with high pressure whenever it rains from within the neighboring villages in the community. Gets to Njikoka Mgbakwu village to Ekawa Isuanocha, where it has destroyed many houses, displaced about 300 families and their households, and taken over 3.2 kilometers of land. The President General of Mgbakwu Community, Honorable Basil Wukoma Chukwu, noted that they have continued to experience the challenge in the past 10 years and have tried all they could to stop the flooding, but it keeps escalating and causing more harm and is threatening to overrun the whole Mgbakwu village. Meanwhile, after inspecting the level of damage caused by the flood, the Anambra State Commissioner for Environment, Engineer Felix Odumegwu, who was represented by one of his aides, Emmanuel John Bosco, expressed disappointment over the incident, stating that it was due to lack of drainage and water channels caused by lack of planning, assuring them that he will send a message to Governor Chukwuma Soludo. Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged world leaders to take decisive steps towards tackling climate change with urgency and practical action. Shettima made this appeal on Friday during the launch of Ethiopia's Green Legacy Initiative in Addis Ababa, which aims to combat deforestation, promote biodiversity, and lessen the negative impact of climate change across the country. It sets a bold target of planting 20 billion tree seedlings over 4 years, mobilizing communities and resources nationwide. The Vice President described climate change as a real danger that requires firm, immediate action beyond discussion or conferences, noting that every nation must respond to its specific ecological challenges with tailored and practical solutions. According to him, Ethiopia's Green Legacy is an inspiring plan to reimagine the future and shows true leadership, praising the initiative's figures of 20 billion seedlings, over 20,000 nurseries, and hundreds of thousands of green jobs created. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has backed the current leadership of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, warning against what it described as a coordinated sabotage campaign to frustrate the company's ongoing reforms. In a press release issued yesterday and signed by the NANS National Public Relations Officer, Comrade Adeyemi Ajasa, the student body expressed grave concern over a recent public notice by NNPC that alleged deliberate attempts by both internal and external actors to undermine its transformation agenda. NANS said these elements threatened by reforms, transparency and accountability have resorted to spreading misinformation, scandalous fabrication and calculated falsehoods in a desperate bid to sabotage the genuine efforts to reposition NNPC into a corruption-free, performance-driven energy institution. It however insisted that if those behind the campaign do not immediately cease their actions, NANS will mobilize in massive numbers across the country to resist them. NANS, however, urged media, civil society groups, and all well-meaning Nigerians to rise in defense of ongoing reforms in the energy sector. The Senate Committee on Reparation and Repatriation has scheduled a meeting with ambassadors and high commissioners of African countries for June 30 as part of its ongoing efforts to address colonial injustices inflicted on the continent by Western powers. The chairman of the committee, Senator Nnadozie, disclosed this on Friday during a one-day interactive session held in Abuja. Senator Nwoko reaffirmed the Senate's commitment to seeking reparation for historical injustices and repatriation of Nigerian stolen cultural artifacts. He called for support from legislators, policymakers, civil society actors, historians, and international partners to contribute insights and strategies that can shape global support for restitution campaigns. The committee also announced the appointment of development strategist and cultural advocate Chukwuebuka Nnadozie as a consultant. Nnadozie will lead strategy development, stakeholders engagement, and advocacy communications, particularly on the repatriation of cultural artifacts and reparative justice. The Joint Admission and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has expressed concern on the low number of candidates that printed their notification slips, which will authorize them to sit for the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination mop-up exam taking place today. JAMB, in a statement by its spokesperson Fabian Benjamin, said it regretted that as of Friday morning, only 12,442 out of the 98,232 candidates scheduled for the exams printed their slips. He added that those that failed to print the examination notification slip has forfeited the opportunity to take the examination. Deputy National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress (APC) Dalori has replaced Abdullahi Nnadozie as the National Chairman of the party. This follows Nnadodzie's resignation as the party chairman on Thursday to enable him to attend to urgent and important personal matters. APC spokesman Felix Moka, who revealed this in a statement, said President Tinubu directed Dalori to assume the position of acting national chairman pending the meeting of the National Executive Committee of the party to be summoned immediately to fill the vacancy created by the resignation. Nnadozie from the Northwest Zone assumed the leadership of the party in August 2023 following the resignation of his predecessor Abdullahi Adamu from the North Central Zone. Local Government Area Chairman in Ikorodu Division of Lagos State on Friday signed a Joint Task Force Establishment Act aimed at improving security architecture of the area through coordinated processes into law. The chairman signed the bylaw at a stakeholder security meeting held at the Ikorodu Local Government Area Secretariat. The chairman include Mr. Wasiu Adeshina, Ikorodu Local Government Area, Mr. Kazim Olenrawaju, Ikorodu West Local Council Development Area, and Mr. Lucia Daini, Ibobo Bayeku Local Government, among others. The councillors of Ikorodu Local Government and the 5 LCDAs making up the division jointly passed the JTF bylaw that was signed by the chairman. Speaking, Adeshina said it would enhance security architecture of the division as well as back its operations. According to him, the bylaw was made possible by the councillors, urging officers of the Joint Task Force to work in collaboration with the sister security agencies, assuring them of adequate welfare. The chairman said the JTF officers are well trained at the police college in the state and received certificates on local intelligence, promising to engage them more on capacity building. Still on the news, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will depart Abuja today, being the 28th of June, for a two-nation visit to St. Lucia and Brazil. In a statement issued by presidential spokesperson Mr. Bayo Onanuga, he said President Tinubu's first stop will be St. Lucia, where he is scheduled to pay a state visit aimed at deepening Nigeria's engagements with Caribbean nations and strengthening South-South cooperation. A key highlight of the trip will be President Tinubu's address to a special joint session of the Senate and House of Assembly of St. Lucia at the William Jefferson Clinton Ballroom, Sandals Grand, Gross Islet. Onanuga noted that the heads of government of the organizations of Eastern Caribbean states, senior government officials, members of the diplomatic corps, members of the Nigerian community, and the Director General of the organization, Dr. Didakus Jules, have been invited to attend the special session. As part of the visit, the president will also tour the Sir Oscar Lewis Community College in Castries, St. Lucia's capital, to promote academic exchange and strengthen educational ties between Nigeria and the Caribbean island nation. President Tinubu's visit underscores Nigeria's renewed commitment to enhancing diplomatic, economic and cultural relations with Caribbean states, particularly under the African Union's 6th Region Framework. This framework recognizes the African diaspora as an integral partner in Africa's development trajectory. Following his engagement in St. Lucia, President Tinubu will proceed to Brazil to participate in the 17th BRICS Summit, which is scheduled to hold in Rio de Janeiro from 6th to 7th of July 2025. An armed group in Democratic Republic of Congo's northeast attacked a camp for displaced people on Friday, killing 10, local sources said. Bordering Uganda, Utiri province has for years been the scene of pitched battles between the Lendu, a group mainly made up of settled farmers, and the Hema people, typically nomadic herders. The fighting has led to the deaths of thousands of civilians and a mass displacement of many more. Speaking on the attack, the camp head said Friday's assault on the Jangi displaced persons camp was carried out by the self-proclaimed Cooperative for the Development of Congo, a Lendu-allied militia responsible for previous civilian massacres. According to him, there were many and armed with firearms and matches, killing 10 displaced people, most of which are women and children. Congolese Army's Colonel Rufin Mapela, the local administrator for Jugu territory where the camp is located, gave the same toll of 10 dead and putting the number of injured at 15. U.S. President Donald Trump says he has saved Iran's leader Ali Khamenei from assassination and lashed out at the supreme leader for ingratitude, declaring he would order more bombing if the country tries to pursue nuclear weapons. Posting on his Truth social platform, Trump blasted Tehran for claiming to have won its war with Israel, saying he is halting work on possible sanctions relief. Trump earlier said that he had been working in recent days on a possible removal of sanctions against Iran, one of Tehran's main demands. The reaction came as Iran prepared to hold a state funeral for 60 nuclear scientists and military commanders who were killed in the 12-day bombing blaze Israel launched on June 13. Iran says the scientists were among the total of at least 627 civilians killed. And now on sports, Brighton Hove and Hove Albion have signed Super Falcons goalkeeper Nnadozie on a free transfer from Paris FC. Nnadozie is expected to join the club when her contract with the French side ends on July 1st. The two-time CAF Goalkeeper of the Year made 16 European appearances for Paris FC between 2022 and 2025. She also made 55 appearances for Nigeria, with her senior debut coming in 2018. Paul Onuachu will travel to Turkey next week to complete his permanent transfer of Trabzonspor. Southampton announced on Friday that the Nigerian international will join the Turkish Super League outfit after both clubs agreed a fee. Onuachu is returning to familiar territory, having spent the 2023 and 2024 season on loan with the Black Sea Storm. The 31-year-old scored 17 goals in 25 appearances across all competitions during the season. The former Super League champions, however, failed to secure his permanent transfer from Southampton last summer. And to end it on the news today, here are our major news headlines. Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged world leaders to take decisive steps towards tackling climate change with urgency and practical action. U.S. President Donald Trump says he had saved Iran's leader Ali Khamenei from assassination and lashed out at the supreme leader for ingratitude, declaring he would order more bombing if the country tried to pursue nuclear weapons. And Brighton and Hove Albion have signed Super Falcons goalkeeper Nnadozie on a free transfer from Paris FC. And that was the TV Sapienza News. On behalf of the technical and editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojoba Midele. It's a pleasure to have you here with us on TV Sapienza.